we have 2 today as well. So. Because World of Coffee obviously has, I can't brew like 30,000 of my microbrews that I brewed in the competition. So this is for y'all.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Please. And then I'll grab us some water.
I feel so privileged right now.
I'm sorry. This isn't like exactly, it's not going to taste exactly like, but you know, hey, as long as there's a little bit of love.
Ray will let you know it tastes better than my coffee. He didn't even finish the coffee I brewed for him last week.
A little bit of love and a little bit of mystery, like everything's going to be dandy.
It is very good. It's crazy. It's a lot better than my coffee, right, Ray?
Not on camera, bro. Not on camera.
He didn't even finish the coffee I brewed for him last week.
Man.
I brewed it. I brewed it in a roastery. We were interviewing an owner of a roastery, and he didn't even finish the coffee.
How much was left?
It was like this much left.
Oh no.
It was not good. I poured him about this much as well.
Might as well have tossed it and just...
He's the most dishonest Southerner I've ever met. Just lying on the mic all day, dude.
We do a segment called the Get It Off Your Chest segment, which we never rehearse. We come up with things usually on the spot that are bothering us currently in the industry, or things that we are excited about, or whatever that may look like. We're getting it off our chest.
Okay.
So we'd like to invite you for the Get It Off Your Chest segment, if you're open to that.
Okay.
It is on the spot.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
You fine with that?
Yeah, I'm just like I'm like a jello of a person, so I don't know if I have anything to get off my chest, but maybe...
It could have been someone that, like, I don't know, blocked you in your parking spot.
Oh my gosh, okay.
It could be that too.
No, I actually do have something.
Okay.
I have something.
Would you like to go first then?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, you can take this.
Okay, I had no closure about this. Like, this was years ago, but I still hold a grudge.
Oh, goodness gracious. You know
But
who
like,
you are.
someone came in to where I was working, not at Kumquat, but a long time ago, and this lady comes in and goes, "Can I get a pain au chocolat?" And I say, "Yes, do you want it warmed up?" And she says, "Do you even know that you're not supposed to warm up the pastry because it does something to the layers?" And then I just like stared at her and I was like, "I'm so sorry, I'll just give it to you right now." And then she proceeds to order a cappuccino, but she asks, "Can I have a 1/3, 1/3, 1/3?" So like 1/3 espresso, 1/3 steamed milk, and 1/3 foam. And I go,
should know that.
And I go, "Oh my goodness, yes, we do a more of a modern like cappuccino style, so it's a little bit more on the wet side. Is that okay?" And she goes, "No, I want a 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. I cannot believe baristas in LA don't understand that." And so she gets her coffee, and I make her a 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
Yeah.
And then she leaves a Yelp review like 3 months later.
3 months? This is the Brewers Cup champ. You know who you are.
She leaves it though like 3 months later, and then like we're like, why did she save the review in her drafts and then just decide on a day where? But that's the part I didn't understand. It's like, why not just upload it then?
That's sadistic. You're dealing with a crazy person right there. She had it loaded in the chamber before it was ready to go like that.
Just as you have not found closure, maybe she had not found closure up until that point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you feel better now?
I do actually.
Okay.
I
Then
never
that's
really
good.
had a chance to talk about it.
We're not only drank it, we are therapy it.
Yes. I like that.
Go ahead, Ray. What you got to get off your chest?
I just went to a really renowned cafe, like really good, with someone who roasts coffee, or someone part of a coffee company that roasts coffee. Okay. And we went up in there because they carried that coffee, and we ordered like a bunch of stuff on their menu. And when they brought out the pour-overs, and this is not really even just about pour-overs, we're just like, "Yo, man, which coffee? Are you really sure that they brewed your coffee?" And we're like, "I don't know. No, we got to ask Bristol when they come back." We said, "Yo, is this really that coffee?" And she's like, "Yeah, it is. It is." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I thought it was like the other coffee that's like more developed or something." He's like, "Actually, like, we have problems with our water. And it's just been really tough, like getting the water ready and all this stuff." And like, I get it. But like, as a consumer, I'm gonna just be that person. But really, like either tell your customer, but you have to chime in though. Like, tell your customer, like, this ain't.
Not serve it?
Huh?
You just not serve it?
No, it's just kind of like, I mean, they know that we're from that place, and there were coffee nerds and all that.
Right.
And I think she just wanted to know our honest opinion. We're like, yo, this is just not really right. And we kept on talking about it. It's like, maybe it's the water, maybe it's... And then like after having this discussion, she was like, okay, actually it is the water. Like we had someone come in and fix it, and like, it's just really not up to spec, and this isn't really where it is, and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. That, you know, we didn't complain. We were just like, you know, but it's like, yo, man, when coffee nerds come up in, you know, they talking about the coffee. It's like, people could leave a bad review about your coffee if you're really vocal about your coffee and you really have that conversation. Yo, if you know we in this coffee thing, and it's like we step up in your, if we go up in your place, at least say, hey, look, you know, this is what this coffee is, but like, might taste a little off because you know, our water isn't really tuned yet.
Or like we serve more wet cappuccinos, so that is maybe why it tastes a little bit off. We don't serve 1/3.
Yeah, it's almost like, yo, tell me, man. Yeah. It's not like, because we were having a coffee conversation before you even got served. So they know that we're kind of about that coffee. We're going there as a destination.
Well, they knew
like
the person that you were with as well.
Yeah. We're like, oh man, this is a coffee spot now. We got to check it out, man. I heard this is where we need to get that coffee, and it really wasn't about it. We could have just been like, oh man, this place is whack. But
it wasn't Kumquat, right?
No, it wasn't. No, it totally wasn't. And why you even gotta bring that up? What if it was, Zach? What, to get us kicked out already, man? No, it was not. Nah. But that's kind of my thing.
Too bad reviews for Esther.
You crazy, man.
My get it off your chest is something, we were talking about this earlier with conical burrs and flat burrs. I'm so tired of y'all enthusiasts in the industry flip-flopping every 6 months on the trends that are happening. Because a year ago, we were talking about ultralight roast. And now everybody's, you know, back to, you know, more traditional lightly roasted coffee.
I didn't even know that this was going on.
This is going on. This is a thing. This is happening in the espresso aficionados.
Most of my Instagram feed is consisting of puppies, and so I don't see all of this stuff. Yeah,
yes,
I don't see all that
sense.
stuff. But that's crazy. Why are they jumping the boat?
It co-ferment, and now we're no ferment. You know what I mean?
That's where we're at.
It's where we're at.
So what's up with the conical burr?
Listen, man, stop hating on the conical burrs. Ray was hating on my conical burr hand grinder, and I made him some really good coffee at home. Did I not, Ray? Mm-hmm. Did I? And you finished that one. You finished that one.
It was good. You made me interested in conicals again.
He started talking about it today, about conical burrs.
So we might kind of move in that direction, man.
I think there's a chance.
You do?
I did. I used
well, I know you C40.
C60.
C60?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a difference between the C60 and C40? Like a significant difference? Not do you think there is one. Do you find a significant difference in like flavor profile? No?
Not really.
That's what we kind of heard too.
Yeah, we did hear that.
Is it just for like ease of grinding? Like there's like a stage where it's just kind of like a pre-breaker or something like that?
You know, I'm not really quite certain about that. I just know for a fact that it grinds faster, so there's probably less heat retention. So that might make like a little bit of a difference, but I've actually only used consistently the C60.
Sure.
It was my first gift to myself in coffee. So I only use the C40 with like borrowing my coworkers. So don't have that much data, but I remember it tasting quite similar.
Do you have any conicals like on bar, like where you work, and do you ever use them for filter?
On bar?
Yeah.
Like during service?
Yeah.
No.
Is it all flats?
It's all flats.
Which one? You have an insane grinder, right?
Well, this one's that is the Iron Man Ozic. But a majority of our shops, we use the EK, the EK43.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one. And then that's pretty much it. It's just, we just been using that and sticking with it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's an OG.
It is, man.
Yeah.
It's tried and true.
It's tried and true.
One of the most hated.
It is. It's controversial. It's polarizing.
It is.
That's another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Potentially. But do you mind if I ask you a question? I'm going to take that mic back from you. We should have two mics right now. Shout out Drift Away. You stole our microphone. Did you use the C60 in both the April Brewers Cup and in the National Brewers Cup? You did?
Yeah.
Well, that was my question, and that was the answer. That was all I had.
So long. I thought it was going somewhere.
I know, man.
Well, I can lead it into
Go a
my
little
next
more
question.
general, man.
Can you?
Like-
This leads into the rest of our conversation. It does, but I thought there was maybe going to be a little bit more. Do you mind comparing and contrasting for us the April's Brewers Cup and the National Brewers Cup? Because there are obviously some significant differences and some similarities.
Yes.
Love to hear from you as the champion of both. First time ever, U.S. champion of both. Just so you know.
It's crazy, man.
Okay, so the fun part about the April Brewers Cup is that they give you coffee to practice with a week before the competition. So it's going to be the same coffee, but different roast dates. So you'll get another fresh 350 grams of coffee for the competition, but you have a week to figure out what is my best way to brew this coffee and present within the 10-minute time frame. All the flavor notes that you're finding, what you're doing with the recipe, but you have to use the April dripper. And it can be a hybrid, it can be a plastic dripper. You can use the filters that they provide, but as long as it is all April related, you just have to make the best cup of coffee and present and have it be accurate as you're presenting. So there's that. And then there's 2 rounds. So essentially you get paired off with 3 people. It's like in a heat, and then you get blind tasted each cup after brewing, and then there's no presentation involved there, but the best one gets picked, and then those people go to the finals, which is then they get to present what they've been practicing with.
That's cool.
Like, yeah.
That's cool. Follow-up question. Did you, I did not see your April Brewers Cup routine. If there's a place for me to watch it or for us to watch it, we'd love to find that because we couldn't find any video of that. So we actually don't know the answer to this question. Was your routine similar for the April Brewers Cup? I know you centered a lot on the unseen, subtle influences that shape us and shape, our experience in coffee. Was it similar in the April Brewers Cup?
It was actually quite different.
Okay.
The April Brewers Cup, I used a plastic dripper, and I did a very small bloom with a very, very slow center pour to kind of create an immersion effect. So like the level, I was trying to avoid agitation actually the second time. That's why I did a very, very slow center pour so that there's a constant coffee like flowing down, and I'm keeping it level so it's like constantly saturated. So I did that, but for the National Brewers Cup, I actually ended up going with mainly removing agitation, direct agitation overall, and keeping the primary focus, the water component in my brew recipe.
That's awesome.
So yeah, those were
really
the
cool.
2 differences.
So before getting into the water component, which is like, I think
I know
that's
you're
the
curious about that.
That's the juicy part of like at least for me. But was it? I mean, I noticed that you ground a lot coarser on the Brewers Cup. Can you explain was that because of the whole agitation setup? Was it just because of the coffee? Like, what were those decisions in terms of changing your recipe? You went from like a 2 pour to a 3. This one was like a 3 pour. Mm-hmm. Huge bloom, like it's like a 5x bloom, and then you went like a 3 to another 5 or something like. It was like it was interesting, super different from like your April recipe. What was that adjustment? Was it just coffee? Was it the water?
Yeah.
Just kind of give us a little background on how you arrived at that, because it's really different.
Yeah. Like when I was preparing for this, it really broke me down and then it built me back up because I learned so many new things about like water minerals and how it's interacting with the coffee. So for the bloom, my initial recipe for the Brewers Cup, I wanted to do a smaller bloom and I wanted to do heavier second and third pours. But for this recipe, I just felt like, I don't know, I didn't like using because there's also immersion involved. So like there's so many variables. And when I did immersion in the bloom, that's where I initially began, I noticed that the cup tasted a little muddy and I wasn't getting the clarity of flavors of the florals that I wanted in the cup. And like all the nuanced flavors were getting lost when I was doing immersion during the bloom phase with the magnesium water. And I removed that entirely, and to kind of compensate for that, I used a lot more water during the bloom so that the volatile aromatics can just simply extract like there in the bloom.
Sure.
And then the second part, I used a smaller concentration of magnesium dominant water, because I wanted to create this like concentration of like those complex sugars and everything that the bloom was preparing the coffee to release. I wanted to release that during that second pour. And then on the third part, I also needed a way to have enough water to coffee contact with calcium dominant water, because that also helps the mouthfeel and also the lipids to extract, the rest of the sugars to extract. So I'm really thinking about like, okay, how do I take or stage extraction in a way that is really controlled without using agitation or like a lot of agitation at all. Mainly using water, so taking volatile aromatics and very delicate components in the beginning, sugars in the middle, and then like the mouthfeel elements at the end. Like I've really just divided it into those 3 sections. And the pour structure with the amount of water that I'm using is just simply, if it made me decide, my decision factor kind of came in to play when I wanted to increase the extraction of this or have a little bit more of this, or I wish I was a little bit more like silkier or more syrupy, then I'd increase the calcium. You know what I mean? So there's like a lot of factors, but it required me to understand extraction in a very holistic way, because minerals, what they're doing here is not changing the whole extraction theory. What it is just amplifying each stage, right?
Yeah.
So I've tried to kind of complement what already exists with using minerals in each stage.
You kind of as crazy as you sounded like during your presentation, especially like when you brought out like that 74 degrees Celsius thing.
Yeah.
Like on your third pour, it was just like, this person's nuts. That means that you tried like 95, 85,
you just
75, and you were like, I need to go 1 degree lower. Like, I know there was like a really insane thought process, especially because like I don't talk to that many competitors, but I know that when it's like down to the wire, y'all start to like really start, kind of getting into the weeds and like just changing increments of degrees and percentages and all this stuff. Like, at what point were you done with your recipe and you're like, okay, I'm good to go? Like, how many months ahead are you locked in?
Oh, you know what? I don't even know. Everything just feels like such a blur. I will say I changed the pour structure maybe like 2 weeks before the competition.
Sure.
Because I was like, I can't. Like, this is a great cup on its own,
Sure.
but it will not win.
What
Like,
was it prior to?
It was the smaller bloom. It was
Okay.
just like simply the amount of water I was
Sure.
using between each stage. Like, it was giving me really solid cups, but a solid cup is just not enough for all the work I've been putting in. I was
right.
like, how do I maximize the effect of minerals?
First place.
And that's why I think I solidified the pour structure 2 weeks before the competition. That kind of threw me off a little bit.
Okay.
Not gonna lie. But I think in the preparation of really understanding water minerality to the very humble degree that I know now, because it's probably so much more, I would say it took about like a whole year of really committing to it.
To the water part of it? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Just like on and off. I'm not like,
Yeah.
after work, after like a busy day at the bar, like I'm brewing at least like 10 cups when I go home just to try.
How much of that are you drinking? Are you just like tasting like a few sips?
I'm
of each,
drinking and then I'm giving it to whoever's next to me. I'm like, try this.
We noticed that the tool was not the melodrip. Can you? You are not being interrogated right now. This is no shame. We're just curious. What could Melodrip be doing better to get on the Brewers Cup stage for first place? We had Alika back 2 years in a row, but we really wanted Esther. So how do we get Esther to use the Melodrip?
Well, so as a barista and as someone that was just trying to find a way to use the Melodrip in the first place, I was trying to find like something as big to hold my April.
Sure.
But I couldn't find it. And I like tried a bunch of things and I was like, dang it, like it's not working. And so I like looked it up, and then that's how I came across this
Sure.
one. But then I heard that Patrick, because April sponsored me for this event as well, like with the equipment. I was like, how am I gonna get a pink
Oh yeah.
distribution tool that also fits my setup?
Yeah.
Because every time I put this on, it would just like fall straight through.
Oh, no.
And it's fine. It's fine that it's, you know, but I couldn't find one in time. And
It's supposed to be handheld anyway.
Ray did not design it to
You
be
should
a.
know this.
I do know this.
All I know is that if you want one from Raymond,
We've already talked to him.
He told me that he'd be down to make you one. That's just, you know,
Raymond,
I'm just
the
throwing
original
that out
designer
there.
of the lift. We talked to him prior to that. We texted him prior to this interview.
I said, Raymond, you down to do this? He's like, I don't know if I could get pink though, and I know that's important. Anyway,
But we could
end
do
the
white. We could
conversation,
do
man.
purple. It would be a free gift from Drink It. Actually, probably from Raymond.
conversation.
Probably from Raymond.
Let's get into a real question, man. Let's get into a real question, man. This is not come on, people are gonna be thinking that, you know, we're like trying to shill around.
But I'm
or
a
something.
believer. I'm a believer in the middle drip.
Thank you.
That's why I used it.
No.
And we believe in Esther.
Yeah,
we believe
we
she
do.
can win.
Thank you.
We think she has a better chance of winning if she uses the mellow drip.
You're a trigger, man. Anyway. You got it. You come on, man. You got a better question.
You had a question though.
No, I don't.
No, okay. Well, maybe
You
I
kind of
threw you off.
sidetracked the whole situation.
We can cut this out if we need to cut this out. We've got just a little bit more of her time, so I want to be respectful of that. I've got like one more question, and we can jump into rapid fire if you want to. So I'm going to quote you. This is not an exact quote, but you asked the judges while they were drinking their coffee, as Ray and I just drank our coffee. We are a little bit over caffeinated. That may show up on the camera. We've had a lot of coffee today, and I'm running on about 2 hours of sleep. But it said you asked the judges to reflect upon what the. Let me see if I can quote you a little bit more accurately. You said, I'd like you to reflect upon what unseen things or people in your life are shaping some of your best outcomes. That's not an exact quote, that's a paraphrase, but close enough. I'd like to point it back at you. You got to ask that question to them to reflect. I'd love to hear from your perspective. What are the unseen things or people in your life that are shaping this outcome for you? You've had an incredible journey. You won April Brewers Cup last year. You won Brewers Cup for the first time competitor, won this year. Would love to hear some of that success.
Yeah. So I really think when I was asking that question, I was really thinking about my team back in downtown where I started working with Kumquat. You know, they really lit a fire with passion, like for coffee in me. And I think a lot of it had to do with the way that they created such a joyful work environment in such a constantly giving space, right? And serving people. Like, it's not a natural thing that you would want to do when you wake up, you know? But I think my team, they influenced me in such a way that encouraged me to, you know, keep going. And actually, Richard, who was my manager there, he's the one that like snuck in a mellow drip in my locker and was like, he was like, use this. And I was like, okay. And I was like, sold, you know? And so these are the people, people like my bosses, like AJ and Scott, who like really believe in the passion that people show, and they really want to support that. Like, those are the invisible influences in my life, in me as a coffee professional. So I wanted to put that in there, and I thought it matched really well with the theme.
I think it did. I think it was
Yeah.
great. One thing that I could tell from watching your presentation was I thought you had it was very subtle but very warm, hospitable way in which you presented yourself. It came off very much so in that way, even not being a judge sitting there. So I think you did a really great job. It was a really great performance, and we're excited to see Esther win the World Brewers Cup champion. That's right.
Anyways,
We're newbies
What
at
was
this.
the question?
the question basically was, you use like a different grind setting in your April Brewers Cup
Yeah.
to your National Brewers Cup routine.
Yeah.
And like you had a different kind of coarseness, and I know that a lot of your routine was based on like your knowledge of water and showcasing like the importance of water's role in extraction. When you were developing your recipe, like what came first? Was it finding the water recipe and then adjusting the grind size to fit that, or was it the grind and you accommodated the water to fit the grind? Like,
So it kind of phased very similarly. So I did like both in tandem, but I would say the water came like first and then the grind setting and then fine tuning the water. So it was like a ping pong kind of a moment. But I will say the grind size, I just made sure to have it fine enough because I'm using very low agitation. To have it fine enough where I can see a lot of sweetness in the cup, where there's enough surface area so that all of the delicate floral and fruit flavors can present itself. So I had to find that good balance because there's no point that I'm directly agitating the coffee. Yeah.
okay, sounds good.
I think that's awesome. We've got 4 minutes.
Okay.
Let's rapid fire this thing.
Let's go. All right, you gonna do?
Yeah, can I go first? All right.
Scared.
Favorite citrus fruit, kumquat or loquat?
Oh man. This is just based off of flavor?
Coffee shop flavor, it's up to interpretation.
Oh, it has to be kumquat
Kumquat. Okay.
and loquat.
And loquat. Oh, I've got one more question.
Okay.
A little bit spicier. Kumquat or mandarin? Interpret that how you will.
Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You know that there's only one answer.
We're going to let her not answer that question. Shout out Mandarin and Mandarin 2. Y'all are crushing it. Kumquat's crushing it too. Ready, go.
Okay. Think of someone that has annoyed you and perturbed you to a point where you might want to just kind of like,
Don't answer me or
You know?
Ray in this moment.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah.
just someone else.
what coffee would you serve that person that you extremely dislike?
I feel bad for saying this, but maybe like a very, very dark roasted Robusta.
Okay.
Like pitch black.
Like it was on fire a little bit, like coming
Yeah,
out, yeah.
with like a lot of oil on it
Yeah.
on the outside.
Have you done this before?
It sounds very specific.
I mean, with this Agtron right here and this grind
Robustas
setting.
can be good, but it's
what I'm gonna get.
take it a little.
So on the opposite side, someone that you really love in your life, what would be that perfect drink?
Ooh, that's really hard. Probably, definitely a blend. I would blend it because I think so. I've been doing something fun where I've been taking 2 grams of really, really dark roasted coffee, and then like a really light like coffee, and so I'll blend the two, and then it'll be delicious.
That sounds like
Really?
a love and hate type of thing.
Like you get like the
It's like hard to get, man. You're just like.
No, I promise it's so good. I don't know. I
That
just might
sounds
have
good.
my guilty pleasure lately. Yeah.
Okay, so one more question. Let's say you just got booted off Survivor,
Uh-oh.
and you finally made it through your house, like into your house. What's the first drink, the first coffee drink you would make yourself?
Well, they are on Ponderosa for a little bit after the show is done filming, so yeah, they got to stay on the resort. So maybe not when you're at Ponderosa because you're probably drinking, not coffee
Yeah,
there.
Zach here is just a little too addicted.
I'm a Survivor fan. Shout out Q. I think you were gone too soon, season 50.
Yo,
Rick Devens, I'm rooting for you.
what?
Y'all watch?
Yo,
I made you watch it with me.
It's about her, man.
Sorry,
Talking about
my
your Survivor.
podcast.
Yeah. Yo, come on, man. This guy.
I would do like a little like pineapple juice.
Cool.
Yo, in coffee or just straight up pineapple?
You would just
juice?
like pour the pineapple juice in the coffee?
Wait, you were asking me what coffee drink I would make
Oh
myself?
yeah.
Oh.
No, pineapple juice. That's interesting though. That's
Oh,
like.
yeah. I like pineapple juice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pineapple juice, maybe like some little like orange blossom, little lime,
Oh, wow.
lime, and then a little bit of like Ethiopian coffee.
Okay.
Pour
In
over
there,
it.
all in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, so what's the most goated Sig Bev ingredient?
Oh, I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
How about like, what do you think really goes well with coffee in terms of like, if you had a signature beverage? Like, what
Yeah.
always kind of like hits it? Like we should probably use this. It'll just hit.
I really have been liking like any kind of like flower water.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of like does something to the coffee. Like it adds so much like pizzazz and like elegance.
That's cool.
So that makes it really fun. I personally love a little bit of florals in my coffee.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
as well. Me as well.
Yeah.
Mellow Drip or MH?
Get the heck out of here with this, man. This guy.
I think that's a wrap. Esther, thanks so much for joining us today.
so much.
It's been a pleasure.
And the coffee that she just brewed.
It was
is
awesome.
insane.
I am so privileged to be drinking that. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Good luck on Worlds, wherever it is. Where is it?
I don't
It's
even
in
know where it
Brussels.
is.
Oh, let's
Yeah.
go.
Belgium.
We're rooting for you. Let's go, LA.
That's awesome.
Go LA.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you.
I'm sorry it was so janky.